Let's get started on time because we are here on a focus group with leaders. 8:45, we get started. So what we're going to have today is another set of our focus groups. I'm very excited about that one, and I'll hand over in a minute to Hassiem. But before I go into that, when Hassiem is finished, I would like to discuss with you next Monday's call, which will be not on the 26th, because some people celebrate Christmas, and I mean 25th, 26th are really then the awkward days where you don't want to hold people back from their families. So the following Monday, which is the 4th of January, so we see each other basically in the webinar in the new year, which is quite exciting. So we will have on the 3rd already the quick start. And then we have on the 4th our next Coaches Academy, and then also our focus group. So obviously after Hassiem is finished, we need to decide who is doing the next calls. It's Sunday quick start, it's Monday the Coaches Academy, and then the focus group call. And obviously also we want to agree on the subject. We have still a couple of themes open or subjects open from the last time we discussed it, so I just will repeat it again so that we can discuss it. But without any further ado, because I know he put a lot of mind and attitude into that presentation tonight, and he has proven in the last couple of months since he was with Herbalife, really that what he shared with us tonight is really him. He developed in a very short space of time his business from 0 to a world team now already. 0 don't mean it bad now, but from being a non-Herbalife, just started as a client, getting a better and better product result, improving the excitement day by day, basically, which actually contributes in his whole organization. And this is just what he shares with us tonight is basically at the same time his success formula. This is why it makes a lot of sense to listen from two angles, basically. If you are happy and successful with your business, it's absolutely brilliant, but you will want to help your brand new members, basically, to develop probably the way he's presenting us tonight, because he's going to talk about struggles people go through. And obviously, when we know how to handle it already, that's absolutely brilliant. But we must also see our brand new clients, our brand new members go through similar struggle. And we are coaches, so we are not just selling a product. We are basically coaches, so we want to help the people to develop themselves. Our customers need support to develop themselves, and also our members need support to develop themselves to their highest, actually. So without any further ado, over to our international world team, all the way from Mitchell's Plain, Hassiem, Mr. Ding.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for being on the call this evening. So before I start with the slides, I just want to share a quick story with you guys. So when I started the business, just recently in the business, I was senior. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Bia, has it sound right?
Perfect.
So I just started in the business. Bia, go back, please. Go back to the beginning. So I just started in the business, and then I just became senior consultant, and sat with Bia, and Bia said, are you going to the LDW? And not knowing what the LDW was, she gave me a brief description of what it is about and what I need to qualify for. And then I was thinking in my mind, I just qualified senior consultant. The LDW is 3 months away. How the heck am I going to qualify for senior for the supervisor to go to the LDW? And I don't know if Bia read my mind, or she saw my face, and she looked at me and she said, if you want to go to the LDW, buy the ticket. If you don't want to go, don't buy the ticket. She smiled and she walked away. And then at that moment, I knew I was going to buy the ticket and I was going to go. And just a month shy from the LDW, I got stressed out, totally stressed out. And I phoned Bia. I said, Bia, I don't think I'm going to qualify. I don't think I'm going to make it. I don't know if I'm going to make it. I paid for my ticket already. And Bia, in a calm voice, said, Hassiem, just relax. Just do what you need to do. Speak to more people. Get more people to love your shake. And you'll be fine. Guess what? I went to the LDW, smiling, rocking, and kicking. So which brings us to our training tonight. Attitude and mindset. And the power is within you. Next, Bia. So it doesn't matter what you do. Life is part negative. It doesn't matter how you want to look at it. Negative is part of life. Negative is normal. It's not successful, but it's normal. There's no way you're going to get away from that. So firstly, you need to learn how to deal with the negative. Don't ignore it, but please handle it. And if you dwell on all the negative things, you're going to become more negative. I'll make an example quickly. If it's dark, there's no light. And if there's light, there's no darkness. And if you look at the picture in the middle, the guy stands there with the positive and the negative. And you can decide what it is you want to do. You can continue to focus on the negative and be negative, or you can focus on the positive. So where do we start? Firstly, next year, you need to be active. Can you go next? So firstly, I need to be active. So what you can do is you can wait on other people, outside influences, to change things for you. You can start doing it for yourself. You can start working on yourself. And that's what it's all about. It's all about self-development. What am I going to do for myself to do it better and to do it different? So how do I start? Next year, I first need to identify a few key things. So what is it that I need to identify first? I first need to identify the bad attitudes in me and around me so that I can know how to block it out or how not to give it attention. So the first one we're going to cover is going to be neglect. I'm okay with where I am right now. It's still early in the month. One week neglect can cause months of repair. So let's go to the top one. I'm okay with where I am now. Sometimes you move up on the marketing plan, you become senior consultant, or you become a supervisor or world team member. Then you tell yourself, you know what? I've done good for myself. I'm further than where I started. So I don't need to rush or move this fast to the next level. I can take my time. And that's something we need to look at. And the next one is something I struggle with sometimes, and I have to admit it. I still tell myself in the first week, it's still very early in the month. I know myself. I can do this. And then when I open my eyes, it's the end of the second week already of the month. And then I want to rush and I want to jump. So it's also very important to always be on your game. And the third one, it's something to really to look at and to focus on, because we do follow-ups regularly with our clients. So if you do follow-ups on a weekly basis, now 1 week you decide to yourself, you know what, I don't feel like doing a follow-up because I'm not feeling in a good space. Now you don't do a follow-up with your client, and what happens is that's the week where your client is in a bad space, and you only see your client another week later, so it's 2 weeks time. And what you didn't realize is, for 2 weeks, your client has been off the products, not being on the plan, and then you need to fix all the work that you put in, the month's work that you put in, you need to start fixing again. Because that's very, very, very important. And the next one we're going to cover is indifference. I've put the word, Nobia, you must go back. Yeah. The word there is mildness, but the best way to describe indifference for me is a lack of interest. We have sometimes a lack of interest towards our business, towards our clients, and even towards our members. So I have a saying, get worked up with whatever you do. Put everything you got into everything you do. It doesn't matter what it is you do. It doesn't matter. Sometimes you find a client that works on your nerves. But it's your client. Get worked up to work with a client. I spoke to Monica now the other day. She said sometimes when she's in a bad space, she needs to see a client. She goes to the toilet and she goes on crazy just to work herself up. Once she gets out of the toilet, she's all worked up and ready for the client. And the delusion that we suffer with from is that we say, if I had a better job, things would be better. I would focus more on the business. If I had a better job, my job hours was different, I could focus more time on the business. If my situation was different, my spouse was more involved, or my spouse was more supportive. It's all excuses. So it doesn't matter what you take on in life, whether it is your Herbalife business, whether it's your personal life, any area in your life, get worked up. Put everything you got into everything you do. Next beer. Indecisive. I can't make up my mind. Sits on the fence. But if I get off on the wrong side of the fence, and this is actually a very crucial one in our business, because there's a lot of different methods. Some people use FitCam. If you look at Lisa, them, they're the gurus at FitCam. I love my shake parties, and there's weight loss challenges. There's so much different methods in the business, and sometimes we don't want to get involved into one because we look at Liesel. Liesel them doing the FitCam so awesome. I won't be as good as Liesel them. Just get off the fence, pick one, and master it. I can remember at the beginning, Bia told me to do a shake parties. I was like, oh no, Bia, the shake party is not for me. I will never be able to do it. Today, if you ask me, it doesn't matter where I throw a shake party, whether I go to Wellington or wherever, you are gonna rock. The shake party is gonna be awesome. Not because I'm the best at the shake party, but because I've mastered my shake party. I've made it my shake party. And that's what you need to do. You need to take one thing and make it your own. Master it. Sure. Am I going too fast? Am I at the right pace here? The next one we're gonna cover is self-doubt. And this, guys, this is a killer. If you look at the picture on the right hand side with the fingers pointing at that guy, that is your own finger pointing at you. And this is how small that finger can make you feel. Because self-doubt, it's one of the biggest things keeping us down. Where you feel you're not good enough. You won't make it. This is not for me. I won't be able, let's go back to the first one where I say I won't be able to do a fit camp. I won't be Liesel. I won't be able to do a shake party like Hassiem was doing a shake party. You don't have to be a Liesel. You don't have to be a beer. You just have to be the best version of yourself. Nobody can be a better you than you yourself. So just believe in yourself. And that's the key. Everything starts with believing in yourself. Self-worth is the beginning of the entire progress. Everything starts there. Where can we go next? I think most of us have come across this one already. Worry. And the more you worry, guess what? You just worry more. And you worry more. And worry changes nothing. It causes, what does worry cause? It causes health problems. It causes social problems and family problems. And guess what? Nobody wants to be around somebody that's always negative. So give it up. It's not easy. Trust me, it's not easy. But it's definitely worth it. So whether you're going to worry or not worry, your challenge, sorry, is still going to be there. Maybe the next one we get is overcautious. Overcautious is where you have a timid approach to life, where minimum is good enough. When I look at overcautious and we look at our business, sometimes we speak easily to people that we know about our business because we know them. So if we make a mistake, they won't judge us. But we won't go outside of our circles. When somebody outside of our circle approaches us about the subject, we won't always allow ourselves to speak. So we will take the shy approach and shy away because firstly, we're scared that we're going to answer them wrong. We're scared that we're not going to give them the right information. All I speak about. When it comes to the products and what we do, I only speak about my experience. I can only share with them my experience. And what's very important for me is the training session. So every time I'm on the training, I hear somebody else's experience and then I use their experience in my stories as well. So I only speak from the things that I know. So the thing is with people that's overcautious, that takes a timid approach to life, they always say, what if I jump and I fall? What if you jump and you fly? I remember very early in my business, I sat with Bia and Bia said, Hassiem, the first 3 months is going to be business as usual. Nothing much is going to happen. Just do as much as you can. Don't do the bare minimum. Just push and do and do. By month 3, you're going to see you're going to fly. Whatever Bia threw at me, I swallowed. I did. 2 months and 20 days in the business, I became a supervisor and I flew and I didn't know what happened. Everything just went crazy. Like she said, 3 months in, it's going to go crazy. So I'll tell you again, you can decide whether you want to jump and fall or fly. Everything you do in life is a risk. It doesn't matter what you do. So whether you take a timid approach, a cautious approach, or whether you live your life, life is going to happen. When you go out of the door, it's a risk. When you open your eyes, it's a risk. When you get in your car, it's a risk. So live your life. Go out and speak. Be you. Be free. Yeah. Next one is a pessimist. The pessimist focus on what can go wrong, looking at the reasons why it won't work and why it can't be done. The pessimist will find 5 reasons or 10 reasons why it won't work. But all that you need is one reason why it will work. With a pessimist, the glass is always half empty. Doesn't matter what you do, it will always be half empty. In the case of an optimist, the glass is always half full. So now my question to you is, why can the same glass have 2 different meanings for 2 different people? And the next line, it speaks volume for me. The way we think things are affects us most. I'll read it again. The way we think things are affects us the most. So what that tells me is, it's how we look at the obstacle that's becoming a challenge for us. So how do we face our obstacles? How do we face our challenges? Because it's not really the obstacle that's the challenge. It's our perception of how we look at the challenge and how we attack the challenge that affects us most. So how do we move away from that? We move away by getting better thinking habits. So if you look at the peak on the right hand side, there's a guy standing again with good and bad. And I choose good and bad always because it's the perfect thing to use, good and bad. So I picked this particular guy with the tie because he's dressed for success. And he always drilled me by saying, Hassiem, always dress for success. Always dress for success. And now I understand why I must dress for success. Because when I look good, I feel good. And when I feel good, I feed my mind with positive thoughts. And my thoughts becomes behaviors. My thought becomes actions. So what we need to do is better thinking habits versus poor thinking habits, which take us to our next slide. So thoughts becomes actions. So how do you start your day? So you wake up, you go on social media, you post about your business, you go on Facebook, you post, and as you post as you advertise your business, you like this one speak, that one speak. Somehow the negative stuff comes through. You read about hijackings, robbery, murder, or when you're on your way to work in your car, listen to the radio, the news speaks about the murders and the robberies. And that's how you feed your mind negatively, subconsciously, not even realizing it. You're feeding your mind with all the negative stuff. And that's how you start your day. That's the things that you talk about when you get to the office, when everybody's speaking about the big murder case or the big rape case. And without you realizing it, you always feeding your mind negatively. Yeah, next slide, Bia. So it doesn't matter what you do. The mind, as you can see, is always working. Whether you sit still, whether you're not doing anything, the mind is working. And Jim Rowan said it beautifully. He said, what you read pours massive ingredients into your mind, and the fabrics of your life is built from those ingredients. So I'll ask again, what do you read? How does your daily info intake look like? And you must remember, whether you want to admit it or not, the unconscious intake is a lot of negative. If you look at media, if you look at things going around, the things that turns people on, the things that people speak about, that's the negative things in life. So your unconscious intake is most of the time negative. So how are you going to make sure your conscious intake that you have is positive? So what do you need to do? Next, Bia, you need to stand guard by the door of your mind. I'll say it again. And this is something you need to learn. You need to teach yourself. It's not going to happen over time. But guess what? You need to put in the work. I'll say it again. You need to stand guard by the door of your mind. You decide what goes in your mind. It doesn't happen randomly. So you must make sure you put the right stuff in your mind. But before we go on to that, Let's go to the next one. And this one is it's a crazy one. Complaining. And we all know that person that's always complaining. We all know that person that life is never fair to them. It's poor, poor me, always poor me. Nobody likes being around that person. And don't allow yourself to hang out around that person. It doesn't matter how positive you are. Your negativity will influence you. So complaining all the time, it's time wasted that you won't get back. And it puts your mind in a more negative space than ever. So what do you need to do? How fast can you change your focus? Tony Robbins said it beautifully. He said, focus get controlled by questions. So now my question is, what are the type of questions that you ask yourself? What are the type of questions what's the things that you need to do? But before you go to the next slide, Bia, let me just read something to you quickly. Something that I'm busy reading now, the book that you propose that we use is The Compound Effect. And I'm busy on this chapter now, Creatures of Habit. So I'm just going to read a piece for you guys. Creatures of Habit, it's like this. There's a story about a man riding a horse. Galloping quickly, it appears that he's going somewhere very, very important. A man standing along the roadside shouts, "Where are you going?" The rider replies, "I don't know, ask the horse." And this is the story of most people's lives. They're riding their horse of their habits. They have no idea where they're headed, and it's time to take back the reins. So, taking it back to unconscious intake. So we can just wake up every day and just live our life and go on like we think we're going somewhere, but our habits control where we're going. So what do? Beer got me started reading on the book called next beer, The Compound Effect. And so I do self-development. And one of the things that stood out to me that's very important about the compound effect is something I read in there, and we always hear the word, what is your why? What is your why? So finding a powerful why. So I just want to make an example quick. If I take a plank that's 20 meters long and it's 30 meters broad, and I put it on the floor, 30 centimeters broad, sorry, and 20 meters long, I put it on the floor, I tell you to walk from the one side to the other side. You will do it because it's just on the floor you walk, you just need to walk on the plank. But if I take the very same plank, remember 20 meters long, 30 centimeters broad, and I put it on two buildings, and the buildings is 10 stories high. And I tell you, walk from the one side of the building to the other building over the plank. You're not going to do it because the risk that you're going to fall is quite big. So you're not going to take that risk. But if I change it up a bit, I take the very same plank, 20 meters long, 30 centimeters wide, put it on the two buildings, and the one building is burning on the other side, and your family is standing on the other side. Now you need to go over and go help them. Will you do it now? And that's the importance of a powerful why. So what I do is I plan my day. When I say plan my day, what do you want to accomplish? Always remember, if you have a goal and you don't write your goal down, if you don't write down your goal, yeah, you're okay there. If you don't write down your goal, you're not going to achieve your goal. So what's your goal? Let's say you want to do 15, 10, 5, 1. You break it down into weeks. You break it down into days. So let's say for the day, you want to see 2 of your clients and you want to speak to 2 new people that don't know about the business. Write it down. Tell yourself, I have a plan of how you're going to get there. Where are you going to find these 2 new people? Are you going to go to the mall? Are you going to speak to the guy next to you on the bus? Are you going to speak to somebody in the office? But plan your day. Planning is very important. Without planning, you're planning to fail. The second one, don't worry guys, I'm almost finished. I'm almost on my last slide. The next thing to do is track what you do. I write everything down that I do. Everything I write, everything I do, I write down. From a glass of water that I drink, I write down. From what I eat, I write down. Also, having an accountability partner is also very, very, very important. Next beer. So these 3 words speaks a lot to me. Excited, bold, and responsibility. And what I've done with these words, I've put alarm on my phone that goes off 3 times a day. And these 3 words will pop up on my alarm. So I need to be excited all the time. And guess what? If I'm busy moaning or in a bad space and this message come up, I can't be in a bad mood. I need to be excited. Because people see my excitement, and that's what draws the people to me is my excitement. I need to be bold. And the last one is responsibility. Responsibility means it's a big word to me because the responsibility is I need to show everybody what Herbalife means to me and what it has done and caused for me. So I have this responsibility towards people to make sure everybody knows about Herbalife. Everybody knows what Herbalife means to me and what it did for me. And those are the three important words to me. Your words don't have to be those three words. You don't even have to use these words. You can use your own words, but words that speaks to you, speaks to who you want to be and what you want to become. Are we still good with time?
Perfect.
Okay. So then be on the next slide. So what we're going to do, I'm quickly going to share my story with you guys. So I left school in standard 7. That was probably 1991, 1992. So my highest standard course was standard 6. Standard 6. So what happened was I struggled with addiction for the better part of my adult life. And I went to treatment in 2008. So they trained me to be an addictions counselor in-house. And I became one of the best addiction counselors at our treatment center. And whenever a new social worker or psychologist entered our treatment center and they came to work for us, they first had to finish the training with me. And remember, I left school standard 7, last standard pass was standard 6. And then what happened was, I was part of the team who achieved international accreditation, the first on the African continent. No other treatment center has ever done that. And I was part of that team that achieved that. So in 2011, 2012, then I got a promotion. I became the operations manager of 3 treatment centers. But I first needed to do some courses because I had no former training or anything like that. I had nothing to put in my profile. So they sent me to CPUT. Came to CPUT. What stood out to me, I'm going to make this very short, what stood out to me was I was in the room, I did project management and business management and some supervisory management. And in the project management course, I was sitting and everybody, the first day, everybody introduced themselves. And this one had a degree in, I don't know what, everybody had a degree. And this one Tiki, she was a weapons engineer for the Navy, one of 2 in the country. And I immediately felt out of my depth. I immediately felt that I don't belong there. Because I was 20 years lost in school. Never had schooling in 20 years, never studied a day in my life, don't like reading, nothing like that. I finished all 3 courses with a distinction. I finished stopping my class with nothing behind my name. Remember, I went to school last in 1992. So I believe I can achieve anything I put my mind to. I can accomplish anything. It doesn't matter where I come from. It doesn't matter my background. It doesn't matter who I was. All that matters is what I'm going to do now and how I'm going to do it and how I'm going to apply myself and what am I willing to do to empower myself. Here, the next slide, please. And this is where I'm going. So whether you want to go with me or not, this is where I'm going. So thank you, guys. Thank you, Bia, for your time. Really, thank you, guys.
I leave it up to everybody else to say a word.
I'm out of breath here.
You must learn to breathe in between your sentences, Hassiem. That was excellent. That was awesome training. Well done.
What did you get specifically out of it, Liesl? What spoke to you the most?
Is consistency with regards to having the right attitude and how you approach your business and how you approach life all the time. Because I can be very up and down with stuff like that. So it's awesome to see that what the result is if you are consistent with it and you focus on that all the time. And I like Hassiem's idea of setting those alarms 3 times a day, which are there to remind you that are you actually doing what you set out to do, or the attitude you want to have on a daily basis, you know. So although one sees Hassiem always excited, even he needs reminders to make sure that he has a check on himself that he is doing what he set out to do. So I like that a lot. I'm going to use that. Thank you.
Thank you. Wendy, what did you get out of it? First of all, Wendy, to you also, congratulations to your call tonight. You really performed brilliantly. What did you get out of the call tonight?
Okay, it was, yeah, also I did with a reminder, because yes, we do tend to get too busy and or distracted, and which then takes us off our goal, because we do wake up with the best intention. But yeah, as like Hassiem also said, as things happen during the day, you kind of almost, like go downhill, because now you are faced with all this negative stuff. So yes, definitely for me, the consistency, and also reminders. Definitely reminders also. But yeah, well done, Hassiem. It's funny how we know each other so long, and still I can learn a little bit about you every day.
Lovely. Marge, want to talk to us? You must, yeah.
Thanks, Hassiem. It was amazing. It just shows you how, well, we all have the self-doubt. That's my particular thing. And it's a great idea to have the reminders just to keep yourself focused as well.
Did you take so many notes, Marge, or did you make the homework from your grandson?
No, I've got lots of notes.
Awesome. Congratulations. I think you were the one who wrote the most, what I could see at least, because not everybody has the video camera on. So don't take it for granted that we just remember things like that out of the call. The best is always taking notes, because the moment you write it down, it sinks a little bit more into your brain and into your memory than just hearing it. So practice really taking notes when you're not used to it. Awesome. Thank you, Marge. Cheryl. Cheryl? We can't hear you. Then mute. I unmute you. Now we can hear you. Cheryl?
Can you hear me, dear?
Now we can hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay. I have one word for Hassiem. He's on top of his game, which means he's focused almost like between 90 and 100% of the time, which is brilliant.
Lovely, thank you. But what got you personally out of the call for yourself?
The focus, Bia, that is focus, and he gives us little incentives to work with that works for him. I like the fact that he reminds himself on a daily basis to be excited and to be bold and responsible for what he does every day. That for me is brilliant.
Brilliant. Good. Thank you very much, Cheryl. Hassiem, from my side, knowing basically the journey life, and we're a little bit part of it, I must say the way you developed yourself, just keep it up. Just keep it up, and you basically now can help others to follow in your footprints, because everybody now like basically how you got started. There is light and there is dark. So that situations, challenges happen in life. Life is not meant to be easy. This is how we grow, and this is why there's differences in the people. There's people who really make it, and other people who it breaks because of people not taking the challenges where life is all about. So I really enjoyed it very much. Thank you very much for putting so much effort into it. To Hassiem and to Wendy, you did a brilliant, brilliant job tonight to really make us proud And I think the team got really a lot of value out of it tonight. So thank you very much for that. So the only thing we still need to do, there's one chat. Let me see quickly. Didn't see it all. You rocked it, my friend. Okay, from Lisa feedback. And what I would like to do quickly is that we set up the next focus group call, which is on the, if I'm not mistaken, on the 4th of January, is the next Monday after Christmas. We have already a subject for the Coaches Academy, if you all agree. Then we said the last time it's about how to deal with disappointment for the members now. And it's about when customers don't get results, probably when you have a goal and you don't reach your goal for the day or for the week or for the month. Basically dealing with expectations. We expect our customer to lose weight, but he was cheating the whole time and went out to parties and like this, and we meet the person for the weigh-in and the person didn't lose weight. I don't know if you ever experienced that. So it's sometimes we need to deal more with our personal disappointment than the customer is disappointed. So this was suggested as a call for our Members Academy. We could combine it with objections. I think that would be a nice combination. Who is willing to host this call? You rather say it by yourself? If not, I point out somebody.
Bia, Cheryl said something.
Bia, I'm sitting next to her. I can hear. She said yes.
Sorry?
Cheryl said yes.
I'll do it, Bea.
Cheryl? Awesome.
I will do it.
Woo! And then we have obviously our focus group where we want to jump now into the compound effect. It was a suggestion from Hassiem the last time, and it makes a lot of sense that we go now a little bit more into detail to each chapter. And somebody really gives us a little bit a summary of what he or she personally got out of the chapter. So I think we can go and put together the chapter 1 and 2, which is about the compound effect in action, and then we jump into choices. So who is willing and ready to do that? So understand each one of you is basically doing once a quick start 500 on a Sunday. So Roxana can tick the box already, she has done that one. You're gonna do once the Members Academy. So Wendy can tick the Members Academy, Roxana can tick the Members Academy. And don't worry, I'm keeping book who did what, so I won't forget. And then obviously, once you do at least the focus group. So we go next time into the compound effect in action and choices. Who wants to do the focus group?
I'll do it, Bea.
Awesome, perfect, super. Then we have that already sorted, and we go with lots of good attitude and lots of good mindset in the new week. Remember, a lot of people are now at the moment in the holiday mode. What does it mean for us? Either you buy now into it and everything is slow and everything is hectic and everybody has no time, or you decide that this is going to be the best time ever. There's the people who make now holiday. There's people in Cape Town from other areas of South Africa and even from all over the world who are making holiday. There's lots of people we can talk to. Probably it's the time where we need to talk to a little bit more people to have the same outcome. But understand, with the way and the attitude you end the year, this will prepare your success in 2017. So if you take it easy now, your 2017 might not be the same as you expected. If you put now everything you've got into everything you do, and you talk with more people than ever, you plant the seed for a successful 2017. So you decide how you use that time of the year, which is probably the best time of the year. So it's completely up to you, but understand really how you finish, how strong you finish off the year. This is what's going to happen in 2017. So if I don't see you tomorrow at the quick start, because you might be at the HOM in Mitchell's Plain, or if you are traveling because you're on holiday, I know Patricia is on the way to Cape Town. This is why she couldn't be on the call tonight. So we're going to hear soon her excitement here in South Africa. I'm not on holiday. I will be here in Cape Town. So if there's any need, you can always talk to me. But I'm going to wish you, those who celebrate a festive season and a Christmas, a wonderful Christmas time if I don't see you before. I thank you for your loyalty and really also for your courage to go into that focus group and take on the challenge and doing these calls. That means something. And this is the foundation to grow to an enormous, enormous leader. So I'm very, very proud of you, of everybody who took time tonight to be on the call and really put your mind to it, not thinking about Christmas or holiday, really thinking about how can I develop the best possible me to really help others to get a better lifestyle, to feel great, and to help others to become a great leader. So thank you for that. Thank you for your time. Thanks again, Wendy and Hassiem, for an absolutely brilliant call tonight. Really appreciate it. And have a good evening, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
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 Bye. Well done, Wendy. Absolutely awesome. Great job, Hassiem.
Thanks, Bea. You, thanks.
How do you feel now, Hassiem?